Hello, fellow writers! Believe it or not, no one writes a book alone. Writing is a solitary activity, or at least we think about it that way most of the time. A lot of us are introverts, but the truth is it's so important, and really the best time to start building your network is now, wherever you are in your publishing journey. So even if you haven't finished your first draft, it's still a great time to start reaching out and joining writing communities. And the longer you're a part of those writing communities, the more it's going to pay off for you in the end, in the context of deeper relationships and allies that you'll be drawing to you over the course of your journey. And I am so grateful for everybody and every single one of those relationships that I've developed or started developing in this process towards getting my book published by a Big 5 publisher. So the first people you will meet or you should be looking for on your journey are critique partners. I talked a lot about critique partners in my video on revision. You really need at least two critique partners before you have a properly revised manuscript, and you really want as many as you can get. For me, the best way to find critique partners is by joining writing groups. And so I, for example, am part of a real-life writing group in New York City where I live. Our group is YA specific. We all write young adult literature. We meet every couple of weeks. Somebody will share a few people will share 10 pages of their manuscript in advance that we will all provide feedback on during the meeting. We also critique one another's query letters and synopses and things like that. Now, how did I find this writing group? So I actually found it through Meetup. Once we had a group of members that we were satisfied with, we sort of dumped Meetup, and now we just meet up regularly with one another as needed whenever we want to share writing. And we also will serve as critique partners for one another. So yes, every couple of weeks it's just 10 pages that we're sharing, but of course I will partner with other women in the group to read their manuscripts and give feedback, and I am looking forward to asking them to do the same for me. So it's a great place to find writers who you respect and who can give you great feedback on your manuscript. My writing group is now my favorite bunch of ladies in the world, and we have actually founded our own bookstagram as well. It's called YA Hype. I will link to it below so you can check it out, and we use it to rave about young adult books that are coming out and to share photos and details of all the cool events that we get to go to that are book related in New York City. Aside from real life writing groups, there are also tons of online writing communities that you can get involved with. My favorite has been around author mentor match. So as you probably know, I was a mentor within that, I was a mentee within that program. And through that program, like my round of fellow mentees, we have really bonded and connected, and we have our own Slack channels, we have our own, Twitter messages and Facebook groups, and we're able to like connect and stay connected, and we sometimes do Skype calls and also serve as one another's critique partners again, like read and give feedback on one another's manuscripts, help shape query letters, help share information and insights around agents, help tweak one another's pitches for PitMad, all kinds of things. So it's been a beautiful community to be a part of. I will note that Author Mentor Match also has a Facebook group for hopefuls, so folks who have not been accepted into the program yet, but who are, getting ready to apply for the next round. And that's a really lively Facebook group, and lots of critique partner matches are made through that group, so you should definitely check it out if that's something you're interested in. I also spend way too much time on Reddit, and that includes the subreddits Pub Tips, which I've mentioned before, YA Writers, and the Writing subreddit. And so those are also great ways where to reach out for either feedback on your query letter or your pitches. Also, people have found critique partners through those subs, so you can also check out Reddit. There's AbsoluteWrite.com, which has an online chat board, basically a message board, where I have not been super active there, but lots of people are active on that board, and again, find critique partners, build friendships through AbsoluteWrite.com, so check them out. And then there's Scribophile, which I never hear anybody talking about Scribophile, but it's a pretty cool website. So what Scribophile does is you can sign up for an account, and you have to earn points by critiquing other people's pages. And once you've earned enough points, you can post your own work for feedback. Now they have moderators who are really evaluating the feedback that's being given and making sure it's thorough, also respectful. So you can get a lot of really strong feedback through Scribophile as well, and encounter and get to know a lot of other writers across many genres through that website. I'd also like to talk about mentorship as a key area of just community that can be really important to budding writers, including myself. So again, I was a part of Author Mentor Match, which is how I met my amazing, brilliant mentor, J. Albert Mann, she writes wonderful historical fiction. I'll link to her below as well. You should definitely check out her books. And Jen was such a powerful relationship for me. So not only does she have like an incredibly keen eye for editing, she also has been publishing books for many years, and so she had a lot of knowledge and wisdom to share with me about the journey and advice as I was getting ready to query and struggling with the process and the angst of querying. So she was very encouraging and supportive. Perhaps most of all, Jen believed in me. You know, it was her belief in my story and the value of my novel that really kept me going through I think it was at that point my fourth or fifth year of revising of working on this manuscript. So her belief in me was just incredibly powerful and validating and empowering. In addition, through Author Mentor Match, I also got to know Alexa Dunn, who is a great YouTuber or author-tuber who I will link to below. She has the most fantastic series of videos on writing and the journey to getting published. You should definitely check her out. Alexa also serves as sort of a quasi-mentor to all of the mentees within Author Mentor Match. She helped me when I was querying, giving me lots of advice. She helped me when I was navigating difficult decisions in terms of choosing my agent and who to query and all of that good stuff. There are other ways to find mentors, of course, besides the Author Mentor Match program. We Need Diverse Books runs their own mentorship program for writers of color. I will link to that page below. Definitely check them out. One of my fellow Author Mentor Match mentees in my round 3, Louisa Onome, she also has her own mini mentoring program with a few other agented or published author friends, where they are also looking for they're also looking for writers to mentor and support in the process. So I'll link to her website below as well. And then you can consider professional networks of authors. So for example, the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, they have chapters all over the United States. That is a great way for you to interact with other writers. They have critique groups, they have all kinds of events and activities going on, and that is a wonderful source for you to go and get to know folks who have been in this game for a while and have tons of knowledge to share. I'll link to them below as well. Lastly, I want to talk about the professionals. So if you are trying to get traditionally published, when you get a book deal or when you're trying to get a book deal, there will be plenty of professionals you will start interacting with, which frankly is kind of exciting. So first, literary agents, right? So I've talked about my literary agent, Andrea Somberg. I talked about her in my previous video, so definitely check that out if you're interested in what it looks like to work with a literary agent. In addition to my literary agent, I now have an editor at Roaring Brook Press, my publisher, or the publishing house that I'm working with. Makisha Telfer. I have not met Makisha yet, but I have, emailed back and forth with her a couple of times, and I am expecting her edit letter soon. I'm a little scared of the edit letter. I don't know what that's gonna look like, but I'm also, as you can imagine, just dying of excitement to work with her. She did, a year ago when I was getting ready to start pitching my novel to start querying, I won a 5-page critique from her. In advance of DV Pit. It was like a Twitter contest in advance of DV Pit. And her feedback was spot on. Her editing eye was just like sharp and tough. And so I am, again, really excited and really scared of working with her and getting that edit letter. So as my editor, she's going to help me polish my novel, Daughters of a Dead Empire, into something, I think, beautiful and powerful, and so I'm excited to do that work with her. In addition, there's all of the publicity folks and the marketing folks that I will eventually meet at Macmillan, at Roaring Brook Press, who I haven't met yet. I don't know anything about them yet, but they are the ones who are going to, and the sales team, right? They're the ones who are going to actually help get my book out there. So those are some of the professionals that you will have a chance to work with when you get a book deal. So yeah, when authors say in their acknowledgements that it took an entire community to bring their book to life, they're not kidding. It really does take a lot of people. I feel like my life has been enriched by all of these people that I've interacted with. I'm very grateful to them. I hope that, you know, they get as much out of interacting with me as I get out of working with them. And it has been one of the nicest surprises of, you know, this entire process for me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. In my next video, I am going to talk about the process of being on submission, which is, that's a dense one. So I hope to see you in the next video.